My presentation is on use of the Wechsler 4 assessment scale, presented by Michelle Jones-Swaby, Kaiser University, Professor Dr. Lisa Fox, October 20th, 2016. Overview. In the 1930s, Wechsler employee Bellevue Hospital in Manhattan needed an instrument to evaluate the intellect capacity of its melting pot clients. Dissatisfied with his own IQ tests, Wechsler began to try other tests. As a result, he came up with his own, the WBI, published in 1939. His new borrowed test is one of the most popular individual administrative IQ tests of its time, the Stanford-Binet, the WBI. It is similar to the Stanford-Binet, SBI, except it is a point scale, unlike the SBI, which is an age scale. Overview. Test and assessment are two separate but related components of a psychology evaluation. Psychologists use both tools to help to diagnose and create treatment plans. The two most widely used intelligence tests in the United States. First, the Stanford-Binet. The original test was developed by Alfred Binet, a French psychologist. Binet developed a test for children that was for slow learners. The Binet test was focused on attention, memory, and problem-solving skills. Group range from 2 to 90. My main focus? Wechsler, adult intelligent, the WISE. David Wechsler, my main focus. History on Mr. Wechsler. His first intelligence test was introduced in 1939, WISE in 1955, WIS-R in 1981, WIS-3 in 1997, and now we have the WIS-4 in 2008. What is the Wechsler scale? It's an intelligence test. There are 3 different scales. Wechsler Intelligence Scale for preschoolers, children, and adult. The WISE-4 is used to test adults' intelligence on an individual ages from 16 through 90. The Wechsler 4 measures 4 factors: verbal comprehension, perceptual reasoning. In our country, we call that conscious reasoning, working memory, and processing speed. 4 has 10 core subtests: the block design, similarities, digital span, continuation with Wechsler 4, 10 subscores, matrix reasoning, vocabulary, arithmetic, symbol searching. Visual puzzle, information, and coding. Let's see how that works. How do we know that the test is acceptable in our testing society? It must be standardized, reliable, and valid. Standardize. It means determine a property of by comparison with another standard group. In a sense, it means a test has to be out there in order to show that this test is standard. One test compare with another to make sure it's standard. That's what it means. Reliable, it just means that it's consistent. It's like going on a scale for 5 minutes, and 5 minutes before you go on the scale again and it's saying the same thing. It's just consistent. And it shows that it's reliable. Valid. Valid, it's because it is accurate and measure what it's designed to measure. Simple. Whatever it's measuring, whether it's a mental ability or an average height of a person, it falls under a normal pattern. Most tests fall in the mid-range or the extreme. Actually, the extreme is what these tests, intelligent tests, are used for, to identify a gifted student or a student with a learning disability, a patient with brain damage. It helps psychologists, educators, doctors to diagnose the problem and create a plan. Assessment tool. The two main instruments that is used is identification and discussion. Identification is interviewing, face-to-face. Interviewing is face-to-face. Behavioral observation. Behavioral observation is observing somebody in their own environment and within themselves. Role play, they use this in the movie all the time. Bad cop, good cop. You're playing my role, I'm playing yours. Discussion. Discussion is basically the who, the what, the when, and the why. The 5W and the H. So the discussion covers the society, the developer, the publisher, the users, the people who use these tests, and society. As we continue with assessment instrument, this is the critical point. This is the point where, as a psychologist, you have to come up and take a look at everything. The instrument that the observing, take a look at everything and write up the challenges, the learning measures, and this is where it's going to be most important, because this is where you create a plan for the individual to learn. Now we're going to talk about what makes these tests what it is. I have been a victim of this myself, using of psychology test and assessment, the ethical sense of it, and I can go into a story, but there's no way simpler to say this is to avoid these dilemmas of using test assessment or abusing test assessment. Just follow the guidelines. It is in the test. All of them come with the test, no matter what year they were. The guidelines are there. Follow the guidelines. Use responsible test takers and designers and users. And that don't go on the internet and don't go to somebody that nobody recommended to you. Just follow the guidelines. That's all I can say about using the use of psychology assessment on ethical behavior. Now, this is my favorite part. By all means, the use of psychology testing and assessment in culture. We can talk about the behavior, the social behavior patterns. We can talk about, all the things that affect testing when it comes to respect of cultures and how you make decision based on the fact that you are a complete different culture. And in this presentation, I'm sure that Dr. Fox, you're going to come across some pronunciations of word that would have been different for me because of the fact that I'm a different culture. And so for this, the best thing I can say about this, and I'm sure Dr. Fox, you have done many of these tests and you had to deal with the difference in culture and the difference in, even as a setting, you could even say people with learning disability is actually can be their own culture in a way, because we have to design things around us the same way. There is a quick example of a word that I was using, and you could say, we say things different in our country and we see it different, and I have a problem with that even at school as a teacher. So summing up culture as different it's just a matter of respecting the difference and making a decision based on the fact that that person is challenged with that. And that's how I can wrap up societal issue without going more. Now I'm at the end of my PowerPoint presentation, and the final topic that we have is the use of psychology testing and assessment in the social issues. This is based on the educators, the politicians, and the administrators. And the societal issues is to make sure that we are in some form of organization system that will be fair to everyone. So the educators, the politician, and the administrators is like having a guideline that we have to follow to make everything go the way it's supposed to. In the means of just summing it up, even if we don't agree with it, it is the way it's set to cover all of the cultural differences and individual differences. Just put it that way. So that is the end up of the society or the social issues of our educators. And so I just want to say thanks, Dr. Fox, for the opportunity. Great class. Struggled a lot, but learned a lot, and I hope this presentation meets your standards in some way. An A. Thank you.